Welcome to joining today's episode. Today we have Ramon Alquesa, aka NCTR.EXE, on today's show. So my name is Isaac Hernandez. I'm your host for the Paso Creatives podcast show. This show features local artists, musicians, photographers, pretty much anyone in the creative industry. We're going to be airing this live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Any local creative is able to participate in this. Just send us a message on Instagram if you guys want to be a part of the show. And we're streaming this through YouTube, Zoom. Check out the links in our bio. Share it with your friends. So with us today, we have Ramon Alquesa, aka NCTR.EXE. That's a little complicated for me to say for a little bit, but I'll get
Oh
you.
yeah,
So I
of
heard
course.
today about your latest release, the Color Tapes, man. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. So the Color Tapes Volume One is my first EP, my first mixtape that I released out to the world in this music industry.
Yeah.
So basically, what this whole project is about, before we get into any tracks and stuff, if you notice, if you look by the track lists and stuff, you can see that each song is associated with a single color. Except for the last song. It's that's because that's a bonus track for that.
Yeah.
But each song has its own color and stuff. And just, I guess my thought process is how do I feel about this color and what emotions or memories brings into this color. So yeah, it's basically what the Color Tapes series is gonna be. Yes, this is a series. This is the first out of
your album. It comes out of just the color that you feel at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, or I guess I look at a color and I just I guess feel what I'm writing about that color. You know what I mean?
Right. So
what kind of emotions it invokes within me.
Right. And so how would you describe the music you create? What is your music about?
Oh man, that's a really hard question. Honestly, I'm just doing this music, just how just a different sound, just use different sounds in a way it's never been used before. If you listen to my sound and just look at other artists'
right
sounds, it'll just, I don't know, just has a weird dissonance feeling, isn't even now out of this world, you know what I mean?
And so with everything going on, the whole COVID situation, not being able to perform live in front of audience, how are you adjusting to that?
Oh, well, basically just running things through the internet and stuff like that. I guess that incorporates into my stage name as well. The EXE part is, how computers run things through programs called EXEs and stuff.
Yeah.
So basically I just kind of want to incorporated that into my screen name. So I'm an internet entity in a way.
Right. And so
you know what I mean?
If you don't mind me asking, what does NCTR.EXE stand for?
Okay, so originally I wanted to be I wanted to call myself Nectar, like honey and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I didn't it didn't really suck with me that well. So I just trying to find ways to incorporate that, but put it in a way that's different. So with NCTR, I just took out the vowels from Nectar, and with the consonants and stuff, it just left with NCTR. And I was like, wow, that sounds really cool. It sounds like an acronym for something, but I'm
NCTR.
Yeah. I didn't have any I wasn't thinking about what kind of acronym can stand out for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe along the way, as I build a more bigger fan base, they can try to figure out that themselves, and it'll probably be a cool thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and so talking about a fan base, a kind of interesting question, the more exciting question that I have for you is, if you could open up for anybody in the world, literally anybody you want, who would you open up for?
Dude, wow, I don't even know. There's so many good artists that I really look up to, and just really love. But I think the one that inspired me the most, and I would definitely open up to, is probably like Tyler the Creator's music.
Tyler the Creator. Why is that?
Yeah, Tyler the Creator. He's just like, in a way, he's just so different from like other rappers and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, he like how he started out. He was just like so like angry and moody and edgy. Like it showed in his music, but like as time went on, he just began to like start finding himself and just trying to figure out who he is and just building off of about that too. So like his latest stuff is like really good, and what his like most like kind of recent album that really inspired me the most to go on with like music and stuff is probably Flower Boy.
Flower Boy.
Flower Boy. If you haven't heard that, you should go listen to that. It's a really good album. It's like a really different contrast between how he used to be and how he is now. And it's kind of like he's just starting like a new again. And what's it called? So basically what Flower Boy is, it's just like a concept album where like he just like he's in the garden and stuff. There's like a lot of bees and stuff. So like which is like, you know, the whole thing I go with. So I'm really inspired by that album, you know.
And so we had a question pop out right here. It says, where can they find your music? Where can they check it out?
Okay, so if you go on Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud, you can just search up my name, NCTR.EXE, and I should probably show up. It's also on YouTube too.
On YouTube as well. Cool. So
yeah, all streaming services.
EXE, correct?
Yes, NCTR.EXE.
So tell us, how did you get started? How did you know you wanted to do music?
Honestly, I've always been like, ever since I was a child, like I always wanted to like do music and stuff. Like before, like when I was in high school, I was like completely different person. But I used to be like a rocker. I used to like a lot of heavy music, and I always wanted to start bands and everything. And a lot of people weren't down with that. Like no one wanted to see like the vision with me. So I guess a few years go by, like till now, is when I started to get serious about music, because I was like, you know, we live like life is so short. Like
it is.
How can I just pass this up so easily? And I just want to leave like something down the line, you know? Like hundreds of years later, that song will still be there somewhere, even if it hasn't been listened to like by a bunch of people.
It's kind of like photography in a way. When you capture a photo, it's like a memory that you took, and you know, it's always going to be a photo capture.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so
definitely,
you know, as you were getting started, as you were going along through music, you know, what are some kind of bumps you hit, some, you know, mistakes that you learned from, some type of things that you learned from, you know?
Well, to be honest, like I'm still barely like going in this new, so I haven't really been going on that far. But so far, I feel like you just gotta be comfortable with yourself in order to make music, because there are times where you're just like insecure and you don't want to like release your music to the world because you feel like your voice is kind of weird, or like the way you did the instruments was kind of weird. But then I don't know, like just trying to be comfortable with yourself is, I guess, a really big obstacle when people barely starting out and stuff.
Yeah, and so I'm looking through the comment section here. So your Spotify is NCTR.EXE, correct? As well?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Mm-hmm. So you know, as you were going through making your music, what is your creative process like? You know, where do your ideas for your lyrics come from? You know, how do you write?
So okay, let's go into like each individual track now.
Awesome.
So we'll begin with the first song, Beehive Drive, Yellow.
We go ahead and play it.
So of course. So as I was going through this song, I just, you know, this whole bee aesthetic and this thing, I've always had this melody, the hook in my mind for like a really long time, and I just didn't know how to incorporate that until I finally got this this music program called Ableton,
Yeah.
which is I use to like produce all my stuff and make it. So once I did that, this was like the first song I ever made on Ableton, and I was just like, all right, let's make a song about a bee,
Yeah.
about being a bee. Because like with the yellow, with the color yellow, I think about bees, like nature and all that stuff, like happy thoughts, and just I don't know, just being just open with yourself. That's what I feel when I see the color yellow. So with that, so with this bee thing, I want to like, like there's a phrase called busy bees.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
kind of wanted to associate that with like people who like work hard and just try to do the most for like what they want to do. And that's why I kind of relate the bee thing with hardworking people. There's a line in there where I say like, shout out to our workers because they're the busiest bees.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is probably just like a song for people who, who grind and just want to make something out of themselves.
Yeah. And so
And
any role models that you have, that you kind of see as inspiration?
role models. I don't know. I have like a lot of role models right now. Right now, like there's this like little group called Brockhampton. I don't know if you haven't heard of them, but they're like this like hip hop group, boy band in a way, because they're all boys.
Mhm.
Uh, they're like their first stuff they came out with. They made 3 albums in like a 1 year,
Wow.
and they're just like they really work hard and stuff too. So that's, I guess, it kind of like inspired me to just keep doing stuff like on my own, despite what anyone says and stuff like that. Yeah, like they work hard. They like a bunch of videos like all DIY style. Like before they even got signed to a label or anything,
Yeah.
they already had like a brand, like a whole like an iconic sound and just a whole thing. And that's just what inspires me to do things like on my own stuff too.
Yeah. And so we want to listen to some of your songs right now. Which one would you want to
Mhm.
play? And maybe we could explain it afterwards why you wrote that song,
Okay,
meaning behind it.
so so after that, after Beehive Drive, it's called Violet Slave.
So let's go ahead
And
and listen
with Violet's,
to a part of Beehive, and then we'll go into Violent Slaves, and then we could describe.
okay.
So let's go ahead and play Beehive Drive right here. Let me see. There you go.
Let's do this shit. Yeah, so that little thing, a little,
So don't even try me. Can't you see? I'm a bumblebee, bitch, can't you see? Fly like a butterfly, sing like a bee. All these little flowers wanna be my honey. I'm a bumblebee, can't you see? I'm a bumblebee, bitch, can't you see?
So explaining the song, what's the reason you made this song?
Mm-hmm. So the reason why I made this song is because I really like this whole bee aesthetic,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it kind of just try to like inspire people who work hard to just keep pushing, because you guys are like a busy bee, so it's basically what, like, yeah.
So the inspiration behind it is just the busy people, like they're the inspiration of, getting out.
Yeah, getting out there, getting your voice heard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you guys are busy bees.
And so, making music along the way, what have you learned from it, What are some?
Yeah, you really have to like learn how to like know how the system works. Like the music industry, it's kind of vague on how they do a lot of things,
Yeah.
in order to like get heard, just a lot of people just don't know how ruthless and how cold these people in the music industry can be. And you just gotta find out like who really likes your stuff and who doesn't, and just gotta be careful and just take care of your like brand of yourself, or else people will take advantage of that and will just steal it right under your nose without you knowing it.
And so people who listen to the music, you know, what do you hope that they get out of your music? You know, any type of message that you try to send out?
With the message, I just feel like, just be yourself. You have nothing to hide from anybody. You just gotta show the world that you're like awesome and that you can do it. Whatever you put your mind into, you
Right.
can do it. Like I used to think I wasn't like able to fit in and do this kind of music stuff. But like as soon as I started making this, I felt like, wow, like I actually feel like I have potential to do this,
Yeah.
And I just want people to like, who listen to my stuff, to start thinking that they can believe in themselves too, to do this stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of people out there, you know, who they want to do things for the first time. Then, you know, so that's the whole reason why we also started show series type of podcast, even the page as well, is because we're trying to get people to do what they want to do. You know, give them inspiration, their support, their hope. We're soon gonna hopefully connect with different music studios to do a project, different contests for you guys to get more
Dude,
exposure.
hell yeah.
So with that, you know, where do you hope to go along the future in the industry of music?
Hopefully, I don't know. I like if I really do, if I do make it and stuff like that, I really want to make my own like record label and just maybe like produce on the side too.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want to show like, hey, I could also make different types of music as well, and just, I don't know, help people like towards their vision, like see their vision, and that'd be cool.
Yeah, we're all in that. So you know, any people,
Mhm.
you know, anybody who wants to get into the music industry, from the experiences you've had, the things, the mistakes you've learned from, what type of advice would you want to give?
Uh, Honestly, if you want to be taken seriously, you got to really invest into just sounding good, like industry standard. Like if you're just gonna like recording from your like phone and stuff, like people are not gonna take your music seriously. You gotta like find someone with like a studio, or just invest in some equipment, just as I did too.
Yeah. So what would you recommend people invest in?
To invest in? Oh, here, let me show you my setup here. Here, this is a basic. Well, this like a really good microphone. It's like a studio quality microphone right here. This is the Audio Technica 2020. I think it's called that. You can get it for like $100 on Amazon and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is like just according to like the music industry, it's just kind of like a basic mic, a beginner mic, in a sense. This will capture like sound really fully, but you need a mic stand for it because it only just comes with the mic and stuff. So you gotta get a mic stand, or you could just like hold it up.
I like how you have a home studio. You know, you don't need the best equipment to get started. You know, and that's maybe something.
Yeah, exactly. Like
that's something maybe that
yeah, exactly. Like
was, you know, what resources did you have when you got started? You know, obviously you didn't have the best, but how did you get creative with what you had?
it's basically just learning how to like mix and master all the vocals and stuff like that. Because if you're just gonna record it like that, it's not gonna sound as good. So yeah, you need to get mixing and mastering, and it'll sound even better than before. Like if just do it like all normally and just record it like that.
Right. And so did you
Uh,
ever have somebody teaching you, or did you self-teach yourself?
I just kind of looked up at YouTube videos, and also one of my friends also helped me out too. Shout out to Adrian, you're freaking awesome, man. So yeah, he just taught me how to like run this first. The rest was just like learning how to do that. It's basically got me helps getting started and stuff.
Right. And so compared to anybody else, how would you differentiate yourself from the rest of the competition out there? What makes you unique, your music more unique?
Honestly, just the production, the beats, the synthesizers, pretty much just that in that area, because everyone else just kind of like just does like a basic trap kind of sound. Or like with me, I try to like incorporate different genres into the mix, like rock, hip hop, and a little bit of pop music in there too.
So you
Which
different genres, correct?
yeah, it's kind of like not sticking to one genre, but just having all these genres just connect into like this one just mega genre, like just a mixing pot.
Yeah.
hmm But in order to that, you just gotta learn how to, how music works. No way.
Yeah. So what was the most challenging part, that you learned, that you weren't learning?
Oh, honestly, just being comfortable with me like recording my voice and stuff. It's just really awkward at first, because you're saying things and you're trying to sing, and it's just I don't know. For me, it was just really awkward at first, and slowly, I started to feel more comfortable with it. But I still need to refine it more. Just trying to find like my voice and what kind of style of rapping I do.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of just like an obstacle for me personally.
And then so kind of top things off for a bit. What compared to what you're doing now, um, what are things that you would have known when you were first getting started that you would know now?
Back then, I'm like, I should have just been more confident in myself. I should have just tried to push myself more than that, or just don't let what like before I used to care like what people used to think about me,
Right.
and now like I couldn't care less, and now I'm doing whatever I want because I can. And before, like I didn't think like that. I just wanted to like impress everyone. I just wanted to be like accepted and be the cool kid.
Yeah.
But now it's just I make my own space. you
Not
know
what people say as when they're judging you, as well.
exactly.
Is there any
And
point
that
where that stuff kind of stepped you back a little bit, or any tough decisions that you maybe had to make?
yeah, there's just a lot of things I had to do. I had to like sacrifice a lot of friendships and stuff like that for all this, because I spend most of my time just producing and everything. So I don't really have time for like anyone else, except for a handful of people.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like if I'm not at work, like I'm here in my home making music and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
hmm
So is it more hard, or have you always been doing music at your house,
Well, like
or is that something you had?
not professionally,
Yeah.
but like it kind of like happened like around the same time this whole pandemic started, to
Hmm.
be honest. Yeah. So like, I was at home more, so I had more time to like do this.
Yeah, and it gives you more and more
Mhm.
freedom too to start getting things.
Yeah.
Or
More inspiration.
so, which one of your songs would be one of the songs you see as having a special meaning to you, and why?
I think Pink Sugar has a lot of meaning to me because it's about just transforming a love song into something that's different, you know?
Yeah.
So like if you look at the lyrics for Pink Sugar, it's really, you know, kind of like just a generic, like really pop song. The lyrical stuff, just saying like, oh, you know, I love you, you're a breath of fresh air. But you know, I kind of give it like a little bit of self-awareness because I'm just like, I hope you don't find this cheesy. But then, like when it starts towards the end, like the end phase, like the
Yeah.
last minute of the song, it kind of just turns into like a deep or like a dark, kind of isolated kind of vibe to it. And I just relate to like the audience that like the person I used to like talk about is, you know, it isn't real. Like I've just been talking about song like this concept of love just admiringly, like, you know, like wow, like these are a bunch of like sweet lyrics, like who is this person talking about? But in
Yeah.
reality it's nobody.
Nobody is just expressing, you know, expressing
Yeah,
yourself.
it's like expressing love about love. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, I understand you, yeah. And so let's flip that role a little bit then. So which has been your most exciting song to write, you know?
Oh, what exciting. I like Violet Slave a lot too. It's the second track. That one is also a little bit more like down and about song. It's a
Mhm.
really like dark atmosphere. But with that, I really like the like how it came out with the melody and everything. Like it really kind of excites me because in that like last leg of the song, I just go off with it with the vocals and just let out like an expression of like frustration and anger and stuff like that. And I think that's what I like most, like vocally in that song.
And so what else do you have upcoming next, you know? What's your next step?
Well, obviously, the Color Taste Volume 2 is, you know, in production now. So there's
Yeah.
no, it's not a secret. The sequel will be coming out. It'll probably feature more songs. But after that, like after this whole series, I guess, how to see how it goes, I'll probably try to make like an album, like a full-fledged album. Yeah, but that would be along the line, and I'm just trying to like just make a lot of songs along the way, and
Yeah,
let's just show the world that I'm me. I'm here. It's
exactly.
NCTR.EXE.
Uniqueness,
Mm-hmm.
everybody has their own story to tell. So that's what I feel is more interesting about music too, is that you're able to just tell your story, through lyrics, through music, through anything.
Exactly. And it's just excited, pretty excited for the future. Now, I have a lot of more announcements coming soon that I can't talk about here, so you may just watch out for that.
Of course. And so, you know, another song that you maybe might have been one of your hardest songs to write, maybe one of the ones you almost gave up on, and you didn't, and it ended up being a good thing that you didn't give up on it.
Oh, okay. So that the last song, Clause V2, that song is I was very iffy about putting this song on the album because like it's just an instrumental, you know what I mean? And it's a remix of Charlie XCX. And the song is called Clause. Um, I was debating back and forth whether or not to put this on there, but then I just decided to like I guess give the project a little bit more meat to it, just add another song, and that song is like honestly pretty hard for me too because like just experimenting with a lot of effects and stuff and trying to make it sound like better
Hmm.
in a way because it kind of like sounds flat when I haven't mixed and mastered it. But in the end result, I really liked how it came out at the end. It
Right.
sounded pretty good.
That's the cool thing about music too, is that you just get to experiment with every song that you make, like whatever you
Mhm,
didn't quite do
exactly.
the song, you get to experiment to do this in this song. And I feel like that's what also makes
Hmm.
kind of music artists unique, is that, each one has their own style, each one has their own things that they tried out, besides having their own story.
Of course. Yeah, that's just how I take music. I just make it into like an experiment of sorts, you know? Like, I guess not sticking with like a formula or anything. Let's just go in and try to make new things. If it sounds bad, then oh well, we could just experiment with this other sound, you know what I mean? And that's how like I tend to make songs and
Yeah.
produce them.
And when you experiment new things, at least for me, at least, you at least tried it, you at least tried to do it, and,
Yeah,
you never know.
something different.
Well, like, might as well just try it.
Definitely, for sure.
And so, going back to any of your songs that you wrote, which one did you ever have to maybe let go of a song that you wanted to let go for, and maybe sacrifice the song, or?
Yeah, I was honestly gonna add another song. It was gonna be related to something with Blue, but then I don't know. I was cutting it too close to release, and I just couldn't get it like finished in the time, Yeah. And I felt like I should just leave it, and it'll probably come out in volume 2. I'm still debating whether or not to, but if I do, it'll be up on there. Yeah. So I guess like another color that'll be featured on the next volume will be Blue. There you go.
So you're gonna have each like album dedicated to a color,
Yeah, well, like different kinds of colors. Like with this one, I basically the main colors are pink, violet, and yellow. So just 3 colors there.
Yeah, so I'm looking at your tracks. You also have a bonus track here called Claws Volume 2. What is that about?
Yeah, that was the one I was talking to you about. The one that was like really hard for me to like to get into. But yeah, it's I like how it came out though. It came out like very, I don't know, glitchy and just EDM stuff.
Yeah, and so before we let you go, let the listeners listening right now on the podcast, people watching live, where can they find you again? Where can they listen to you? Where can they see?
Okay. So, you can find me anywhere. So I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud. I have a YouTube channel, and you just literally have to search NCTR.EXE. And you'll probably like find me, scrolling down a little bit. But yeah, that's the brand, man.
Yeah. And so again, man, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. Taking the time out of your day to be a part of the podcast, being a part of the show. So for everyone watching right now, go ahead and follow us. Show some love on our page. Show some love on Ramon's page. What we do is we want to spread more of the word out here for the community. Spread all the artists, the musicians, painters, local photographers, filmmakers. So we'll be having these shows every Thursday at 7. And also the next event that we're having out for anybody listening is going to be a modeling event. So if you guys want to get into modeling, we're having a modeling event with Regaza Bazaar. It's called the Evolve Modeling Workshop. And also tomorrow. So tomorrow we have a big news interview coming out on KTSM Channel 9. So if you guys want to tune into that, hopefully, if we land a little bit more with them, we could even have live performers perform, and you could be a guest on that. So Ramon, again, I thank you for joining us. And
yeah, I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, of course. And is there anything else that you want to talk about before we let you go as well?
No, just hopefully you get to hear more of my stuff as I go on, and just stay positive, stay hydrated, and everyone's an awesome bee. All right.
All right, Ramon. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day, and we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.